Have you ever heard of cannibalism, or from Uganda, from Africa, or from any part of the world? I'll tell you today a story, a true story about cannibalism. I have my friend who told me about this. This was few years ago because she got married to this particular guy who practiced this kind of stuff. So she's told me they met in a particular place, which I'll not mention because I don't want her to know about this. Of course, she knows I'm sharing it, but she told me to try as much as I can so that in case the guy hears the story, the guy can't relate that it's him who he's talking about because he doesn't know if she's still alive according to what happened to her. So she meets this guy somewhere and then they fall in love and date and everything is going well. Of course, when we meet people at first, we don't know much about them. All we know is their names. We know they are charming, they are beautiful, they are handsome and all that. We do not give it much attention, much time to understand what is this person, who is this person and what do they want, what do they like, what do they believe in and what do they do. Some people have their norms, some people have cultures they are into or like they follow. So I think this is kind of part of their culture. Yeah, so there is even this ethnic group. I call it ethnic group. I call it a group of people in Uganda. I don't want to say any tribe, but it's a group of people in Uganda and in a particular area and in particular villages where even if you go there, they will automatically tell you if you go there, even if it's during the, even if you are alive, some cannibalism, like in Uganda, they eat people who are dead. Like they dig up the grave of the dead people and then they eat them. But for these people, they can eat you even if you're not dead. They'll just kill you, slice you up, as if they're slicing a cow or like they're cutting up a goat. And then everyone will take part of what they want. Maybe they are 10, then they decide to ambush you and then kill you. And then people will take parts. Like, I want the leg, I want the intestines, I want this, I want that. So this is what they normally do. And they take you home and then they cook you and eat you like they are eating a normal meal. So this particular lady told me when she meets this guy, everything is going on smoothly. The guy has money. The guy is well off. So she's like, okay. Then she starts introducing this man to her friends, of course. And then she's like, I think it's time for me also to be introduced to your friends. The guy introduces her to 2, 3 friends, and then she's asking, I want to meet your family. And the guy is like, you will meet them in the right time. Then as the relationship goes on and goes on, this girl starts to introduce this guy to his family. And she also she's telling the guy, I want to know about your family. So the guy is like, okay, but this is not the right time. I want to be sure that you are the woman I'm going to marry before I take you to my family. So the girl is like, okay, she's patient with him and everything is going on well. He's supportive, he's loving, he's caring. It's everything a woman would want or a woman would pray for in a man. As the relationship goes on, time came when it was time for her to be introduced to the family. Now, this is where the thing comes in. She tells me we prepare, I go get dresses because usually in Uganda, when you're going to the other side of your man or to the side of your man, you don't just go like, you're putting on those tiny, tiny dresses, the shorts or whatever. You have to dress decently, and decent means long dress that covers almost your body. You don't have to show parts of your body, maybe your back, like it's a long dress, but it's a back show, or it's a long dress, but half, then, the upper part does not have anything. No, you have to be fully dressed and covered. Doesn't matter dress, but not trousers, not shorts, not skirts like mini skirts. It has to be, if it's a skirt, it's a long one with a t-shirt, kind of a little bit baggy. You don't have to be so tight, So this is how we go to the other side of the man. So she gets dresses, does the shopping, and then she's ready to go. She decides to go alone, but she's like, we have friends, but sometimes your friend will call you and like, I'm going to meet my man's family. Can you please come with me? But she told me, I don't know what went with me. I don't know what was in my head. I didn't think about that. Anyways, I think she was so excited to meet this family. She was so excited and maybe thinking, yeah, now I think this guy is into me, since he's even ready to introduce me to his family. Then the lady goes, or this girl goes with the man. In the village, the guy who had a car, and so the guy drove them to the village. She told me, I don't even recall where we passed. The only thing I remember, we went off the main road and entered somewhere very far, which I don't even know where exactly we entered. When they reached there, she finds a very searched house. You know, it's a village, but with few people. This village where you find one house apart from the other, then you have to travel or walk a long distance of maybe 20 minutes to reach the other house. This is where the guy texts him and is like, this is where I come from. You wanted to know where I come from. This is my village. This is where I grew up. So are you ready for it? She's like, okay. Casually, they are talking casual and everything is well. So this guy drives until they reach their home and they are ready for them. They prepared for them a meal and everything. So they are so happy to receive her. They show her their, you know, these people will receive you with happiness and all that. She's like, wow, these people are so good. After staying with them, so she had to stay there for 3 days. That is what they had agreed on. They left on Friday. She had to spend there Saturday, Sunday. Then Monday, she had to come back to Kampala, or they had to come back to Kampala. She's like, okay, because I want to introduce you to all my family members. I want to take you to my uncles. I want to take you to my aunts. I want everyone to know about you. So the woman is so excited, or the lady is so excited about this whole thing. As night falls, that day one, that was Friday, she's like, they served her food, but she didn't understand which kind of meat she was eating. I believe she ate human flesh. And so they made a meal and then they served her food and she ate the meat. But later on, she started getting stomach pain and complaining. Maybe the meat didn't settle well with her. So she starts complaining about the stomach pain and all that. And this man tells her, I can get you something to relieve the pain. The guy goes inside and brings some herbs. Then the guy squeezes the herbs, gets the juice out of it, mixes it with water, and then gives her. But the guy did this with hands, not with blender, not with any no, just, you know how you squeeze something and then get water out of it. That is what happened. So after that, the guy gave her and then she drank and she felt better. And then off she slept. In the morning, or in the night, actually towards morning, she woke up and then the husband or the boyfriend beside her, it's very cold. She said, I didn't really get it. I slept like a baby. And I was like, maybe because I was tired. Maybe because of the journey. That is why maybe I'm like this. You know how you sleep and sleep like a baby and you just wake up when it's almost dawn. This is what happened to her. So she didn't know whatever transpired in the night. But the husband is so cold. He's like, did you go outside by any chance? The guy is like, no. Okay, why are you so cold? You took all the blanket and then you rolled into the blanket and I had nothing to cover myself with. And I didn't want to go to my parents asking for another blanket because they slept not in the main house. There is another small such house around. Then the husband tells him, this is my house. In the village, like when you grow up, the guy told him when you grow up and you reach puberty, your parents give you a place and they tell you build your own house. So it's like, this is the first house I built with my own hands, without money, without what. My parents just bought me, it was something small, like, what is it called? Like trees. So I had to do all the manual work by myself and I'm not willing to break it because I love it. So she's like, oh, wow. And it was good inside. It had all the facilities. I had a solar panel. So it is good. It's a good place. And you know how city girls sometimes are. So they stayed there the night. So this guy says, I didn't want to go all the way to the main house just to ask for a blanket and then tell them what? That my girlfriend took away the blanket. You know how parents are. I don't want them to be mean at you. I don't want them to see you as if, you know. So she understands. She brushes it off. So the day goes by and then they eat breakfast. Lunch, they give her meat again. She eats it. But she's feeling this meat she doesn't understand. And when she's trying to ask the guy, what kind of meat are we eating? The guy is not giving us straight answers. You know how someone like turns the topic. You're asking a question and you don't get an answer, but then the topic is driven away and then you go to another topic. So this is what the guy is literally doing. Night comes. This is day 2, which was Saturday. because they slept. They went Friday and they reached during afternoon. They slept. Then day 2 is Saturday. And Saturday, while she's sleeping, she senses something. You know how you are in very deep sleep. And she's saying, I heard noises outside around midnight, around 1 o'clock. I'm hearing noises, but it feels like the noises are coming very far. She tries to get up and the head is so heavy, and then she sleeps back. She believes she was being seduced at night. Maybe the guy used to give him something to make her sleep so much that she couldn't even know whatever is going on. And so she's like, okay, I think maybe I'm so tired. And in the morning, she tries to talk about it with the guy. And I know I had something, this and this. And then the guy's like, maybe it was just nightmares. You sleep these days, so I don't know. Is it because you are tired or something? So she's like, okay, maybe. Then day 3 comes. Again, they're serving her meat all along. She's like, oh, what? These people, where are they getting this meat they're giving me? They're eating meat every day. Day 3 comes. This lady is sleeping. I know they didn't have plans for eating her, because if they had plans, she would be dead meat by then. So they didn't have plans of eating her. That is what I think. She sleeps. She told me, like at night when she ate the food that day and she drank the juice they brought along, she vomited. But she did not tell the husband. While the husband was in the main house after, because they used to have dinner in the main house, everything actually, lunch, dinner, supper, everything. They had to have it, breakfast, they had to have it in the main house, then come back to their house just for sleep or maybe relax. Everything was literally done in the main house. So when she's leaving the main house, she leaves the husband back out there with the parents. Then she's like, I'll go rest. I'm not feeling well. Maybe they think, oh, so today it kicked in so early. She goes and vomits. She's feeling bad. So she's like, I will not worry this man since we are going back tomorrow, because this is day 3, which is a Sunday. Monday morning, they have to leave. So she's like, okay, I'll not worry him since we are going back home tomorrow. Maybe I'll go do a checkup if I have any fever or anything, or if it's any kind of serious thing. So she vomits so bad and then she goes back to bed. She goes back in the house, enters the bed and then stays there. I'm not feeling well. That is what she told me. Then the husband comes, or the boyfriend, the so-called boyfriend, comes and joins in. They sleep. This time round, she did not sleep, overslept, or sleep that sleep she was been getting those past days. So in the middle of the night, she hears people chanting outside. She tries to wake up. There is a small window on the thatched house. Then she tries to open it just a little bit to see whatever is happening. Of course, she wakes up and the husband is not in the bed. And just by peeping, she sees people just dancing, chanting stuff she does not know. And there are a lot of people outside, not 1, not 2, not 3. Not even, like, there were people she didn't recognize along. She's like, what is going on? She starts freaking out. So when she freaks out, now she's like, now it's time to figure it out. She told me she crawled out gently, but I think she was maybe protected by something that is ordained from God, or something like she was protected by her God. Because trust me, these cannibalism or these night dancers, when they, like, you come out and you don't have that smell, they smell. So they can know you are there. They can know there is someone here watching us who is not among us, because you smell differently. But they did not smell anything. So she walks out, she crawls out just to watch what is going on. And she says, in the middle of the chanting and whatever, they had made a circle. They have something in between them. They are chanting and saying stuff and dancing, and the thing is a dead body. After all this, they carry the dead body, take it to the main house. She follows slowly but sure. She wants to watch what is going on. So she goes in this big house, which is grass thatched, big but grass thatched. She goes inside and then starts peeping whatever they are doing. They cut this whole body up, and then they are splitting it into pieces, and everyone is taking part of it. After that, what she does, She crawls out feeling disgusted. She starts throwing up and then she just ran. She told me, I just ran. You know, running, you don't know even where you are going, just passing through plantations, banana plantation, coffee plantations, until it was done. And as it was done, and it's around 4, she finally goes on the main road. And then she had walked all night. She's so tired. She said, I find this guy, truck driver. I just told him, please, I need you to take me to Kampala. She's barefooted. She's just in a night dress. You know, she's kind of scary. I don't know. This is why I tell you she was protected, because you can't go through all that. Just running, and you know, you never know. Maybe something would have eaten her, maybe snakes, maybe wild animals. We have wild animals in Uganda. You don't even know what you can fall into when you're running, most especially late night. So this guy puts her in the truck and then drives her. She's sleeping all the way. She's like, okay, if this is also one of them, I'll be done, but I don't have a choice. So she sleeps. She told me I didn't even have energy to faint. I didn't have energy to eat until she reaches Kampala. Left her phone, left her belongings, everything back, and just ran off. So she never heard from this guy, because by the time she went back, she came back to her senses, because when she came back, she just asked for a phone, called her family. Remember, they picked her up. We went to see her and she's sick. She can't talk for some good days. They had to do some stuff where they do some rituals. If someone, they don't understand what you are going through, they bathe you into some herbs, they feed you some herbs just to bring you back to senses. And then they started praying for her until she regained. After almost 3 weeks, she's been sick. So when she regains her senses, she says she wants to go where they used to live with this husband, that so-called husband. By the time she reaches there, the guy had left. Like, the guy shifted. I think the guy didn't even come. Maybe the guy called the colleagues. I'm just thinking. The guy called the colleagues to just move his stuff, and he vanished. So he went to where the guy used to work from, because she's looking for answers. What did I say? Is it in my head? Did it really happen? Do you guys do that? But I think this guy wasn't ready to give her answers. So she never got closer. Whatever she remained with is that she saw something happening, and that she believed that is what they do. So she runs, like she understands, and then it comes to her senses that this guy was was a cannibal, and maybe they weren't planning to eat her. I'm sure they weren't planning to eat her. Maybe they wanted to keep her, but they didn't want her to know their secrets. So they used to sedate her at night so she can sleep, and then they do their stuff. That is what I'm thinking. Of course, they used to. Who else sleeps like that in a foreign place? You don't just go to a village or to someone's home and sleep as if you're in your own house. Of course not. It doesn't work like that. So this lady, up to date, she's living with this trauma of whatever she went through, but she survived. That is good. She never saw this man again in her life until date. It's been 6 years. 6 years. She dated another guy and then married. Of course, he will not stay like her sister, because, or a nun, because, because something happened. She had to see therapists. She had to see people, counselors. A lot of therapies were done. A lot of counseling were done on her. A lot of prayers and other stuff. So to get her back on track. She came back on track, she got married, and she has now 2 kids. It's been 6 years ever since the incident, and she never heard about this guy ever again. She doesn't know what happened to him. She doesn't know where he went. She does not know anything about this guy again. But the good thing, she survived and she's living. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this, please